Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about pocket watching and how to clap back at people who say really annoying things to you when it pertains to luxury goods, luxury purchases, and maybe your lifestyle changing. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to discuss is, what is a pocket watcher? A pocket watcher is someone who makes comments about the way you spend money, the things that you buy, and the things that you have. But the comments are said in a way that is either malicious or passive aggressive or hurtful. Pocket watchers can sometimes be your friends, sometimes they can be your family, they can be acquaintances, they can be people on social media as well. It can be a wide variety of people. There's a difference between people making comments about maybe something new that you have that's really nice, but it's not said in a malicious way. Pocket watching inevitably always turns out to be quite negative or to be quite hurtful. Okay? Alright, so in today's video we're going to talk about the common things that pocket watchers say to people who like luxury things, luxury goods, luxury, lifestyles or whatever your luxury thing is, the common things that pocket watchers say and how to respond. So the first one, this is a really popular one. We've been hearing this one a lot because of the rise of the quiet luxury trend and the stealth wealth trend. A common thing that a pocket watcher sometimes will say is luxury brands don't target the rich, they target the poor. Someone actually said this to me as well, and they said it to me like, you like luxury brands, but did you know they don't actually target rich people, they target poor people? I responded to this person with a question. I said, okay, so you're saying that I don't have anything. What is it that you're trying to say about me? You're saying I don't have anything? You're saying that I don't have assets and I don't have things? Is that what you're trying to say? And the person was like, oh no, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't know. They started backtracking. I feel like sometimes when someone says something like this, if you respond with a question, that shows that you are not playing around. And obviously for the intents and purposes of this video, we're not going to take the kumbaya, Pegasus unicorn, we'll take the high road like, Pegasus and fly high like Pegasus, boo boo. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to be like the horses of the apocalypse, honey. Okay, we're going there. Okay, we're going there. We're not going to be like Hermes, the messenger god, and Pegasus in the clouds. We're going to be like the horses of the apocalypse, honey. Okay, we're going there. Okay, so when the person said this to me, I was just like, okay, so what are you saying? Like, you're saying I don't have anything? You're saying that I basically don't have anything and luxury brands target me because I don't have anything? And the person was like, no, you don't understand. That's not what I meant. I'm not saying that you don't have any money. I'm like, well, that is what you're saying. That is what you're saying. The person apologized, and then we closed the topic and we moved on. But what I found in that example was that it was good to basically kind of reverse engineer things and kind of turn the tables on the person saying those things. So the person thought that they were going to make me feel bad and thought that I was going to be like, oh, okay, so what do I need to do so people think I'm rich? I could care less whether you think I have anything, I don't have anything, or I'm, I have a lot of things. I don't really care, because at the end of the day, I'm still going to come here, I'm still going to post my videos. Whether I post them every week or every month, I'm still going to come here and show up for the glamazons and the leopards, honey. But if you bring that energy to me, I'm going to ask you, what is your intent behind it? Because saying to me like, luxury brands don't target the rich, they target the poor, and you're telling me that, so you're saying I'm poor, you're saying I don't have anything, or you're saying I don't have any money. Like, what is it that you're trying to say? And I found that a better way of responding is instead of getting defensive, just ask the person a question like, oh, I don't really understand what you mean by this. What are you trying to say by this? Are you trying to say this? Because that's the way I'm taking it. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. And then what you'll find is that they're shocked that you have responded. They think that you're going to take the Pegasus unicorn high road, boo-boo. And then when they see, honey, that you're about to mount that stallion and respond, they're quiet. Okay, so I always say make sure that you respond, because when you respond, inevitably the person's going to apologize because they realize how rude they're being, and they know how rude it is anyway. The next one is, I've seen this one a lot, by the way. I've seen this on luxury YouTubers pages, I've seen this on TikTokers pages. It's a variation of something like this. I earn a lot of money and I don't spend money like this. So I think that this is just another really like a great example of pocket watchers being very self-centered, thinking that the world revolves around them, honey. You know, you think that you are the center of the universe. You think that everything, you know, starts with your view on life, your view on money. And I think for some of these people, it's like really hard for them to accept that they are not the center of the universe. So if someone says something similar to you, like, oh my God, well, you know, I'm really successful and I earn a lot of money and I can't, you know, I can't like buy luxury goods and I'm like really successful and I have lots of money, I would just be like, oh wow, that's great that, you know, this is how I would respond. I'd be like, that's great that, you know, you're really successful. Why don't you focus on the things that you can spend on and not focus on the things that you don't spend on? Because to me, if you ask me, like, the people who say this, like, oh guys, I can afford that, but I wouldn't buy that. Okay, but why are you focusing on things that you're not buying if you have all this money that you claim to have? So I would just tell the person like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you that you're so successful. Why don't you just focus on the things that you can spend on then? Because it doesn't make sense to be like, oh, I have all this money, but I'm not gonna buy this stuff. Like, do people seriously think that Chanel is triggered? Like, particularly, we see this a lot with Chanel. Like, if someone has Chanel, there'll always be someone commenting on a Chanel unboxing video saying, you know, I have, you know, I can afford to buy Chanel, but I wouldn't buy Chanel today. I'm trying to make that person with the Chanel feel bad. Like, do you think that Big C is really triggered? Like, Big C's still gonna put her wig on and she's still gonna be her. And the people who like Chanel are still gonna be them and they're still gonna be doing what it does. So I don't really understand the point of saying things like that. Again, it's meant to be hurtful, it's passive aggressive, and it's meant to make the person feel self-conscious about themselves. And it's also meant to make the person feel like, oh, am I making bad decisions with my money? I'm not going to be judged by anyone who says something like that because I don't know that person, I don't know you, and I don't know the way you would respond to something. I'd be like, you need to focus on the things that you can spend on. It's because you claim that you can afford it, right? That's what the person's saying is, oh, I earn all this money and I would never buy luxury goods and I wouldn't spend on that. Okay, that's great. Really happy for you that you're successful financially. Why don't you focus on the things that you can spend on? How about that? The next one this is another really popular one. I see variations of this all the time on social media. There's always someone saying something like this. People will also say this to you in real life all of the time. They'll say things like, I would rather save and invest than buy like luxury goods or, you know, whatever. They'll say something like that, like, I'd rather save and invest money than buy luxury goods, whatever. In which case, a good response for something like this is to say, I'm happy that you can save and invest, but you know what? I'm even happier that I was saving and investing a long time ago. Because if someone says this to you, that they'd rather save and invest than buy luxury goods, and they know that you like luxury goods, what they're trying to tell you is that you're really bad with your money. Some people might say, well, you shouldn't like go down to the level of the person who's like, oh, you know, I've been saving and investing. But sometimes you need to respond to let the person like, oh, okay, you're saving and investing versus buying luxury goods, but I've been doing that a long time before you, because the person has brought it to you. So sometimes you have to respond. Generally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of being like, oh, I've been doing that anyway, because I feel like you're like justifying it sometimes, but sometimes you need to justify it because there's certain people who need to hear you respond so that they don't bring that energy to you again. And if I didn't make this clear, these clapbacks are only when you are provoked. You should never like, I don't think you should be the person who's like really defensive without someone pushing you. But if someone is pushing you, you have to reply sometimes. And sometimes you have to reply because you have to let people know, like, don't bring that drama over here because I am going to respond to you. And I'm telling you, when people know that you are going to respond, they will apologize. Like what that thing that happened to me that I told you earlier on in the video, the person saying, oh, luxury brands don't target the rich, they target the poor. When I challenged the person, was asking them questions like, oh, so what are you saying? Like, what are you saying about me? You're saying I don't have anything? The person was like, okay, I didn't think again was gonna respond. And then now they feel bad and now you look stupid. So now, you know, you have to say you're sorry. So sometimes you have to reply. So those are just some examples of how to clap back. Make it your own, add some of your own like ways of doing it. I am one of those people that sometimes you have to be nice, nasty, sometimes you have to be direct. I like the thing of turning the tables on the person by asking them a question as well. But sometimes I like also going to their level. Like if you're going to be like, oh, I'd rather save and invest, like I'd rather save and invest than buy luxury goods. I'll be like, oh, okay, that's great. But like, we've been doing that. We've been on. Like, what were you doing when the rest of us were doing that many years ago? Like, what were you doing? Because if the person is bringing it to you, sometimes you have to reply and you have to let them know that you're not the one to play with. And I think that the problem is that sometimes like taking the high road all the time, it can make you kind of like a doormat, and it can make you like an easy target. If someone is feeling bad about themselves, they can use you as a punching bag because they're like, oh, Kagem's not going to reply. Kagem's not going to reply. The next time you reply, they're like, oh my God, don't go for her. She's going to reply. She's going to go there, and she is going to not play around with that. And I think it's important sometimes to respond and to defend yourself. My kind of view in general now when it pertains to clapping back is I will always clap back. If you come for me, I'm clapping back at you. If you don't say anything to me, it's peace and love, honey. Michael Jackson vibes, like cool, calm, collected. I'm in a great mood. We can crack jokes and have a great time. But if you're gonna go there, I'm responding to you, okay? Like Joe Jackson, okay? I'm gonna respond and I will go there if you push me there. If you don't push me there, we're Gucci, we're fine. And that's the way that I think that we should respond. If someone pushes you, you need to respond periodically so that people know you are not the one to play with. And I think that is very important. We live in a really strange time at the moment and I think social media has kind of put things under this kind of magnifying glass where people feel like they can give unsolicited financial advice. People feel like they can make assumptions and judgments about the things that people have without knowing anything about you, without even your friends. Even if you put social media to the side, sometimes friends and family can feel like, they can give advice too. But, if someone isn't paying your bills, if someone's not helping you financially, they don't really understand what is like why people do these things. Like, why do people pocket watch at that level? And that's the thing with pocket watching, is that it's meant to make the person who is being pocket watched kind of second guess their personal financial decisions, or second guess like the way they spend, because people are going to comment about it. I'm sorry, I don't live for other people. I'm not going to buy certain brands for other people. Like, I'm not going to do that. If I like something, or if I like a thing, whatever it is, based on the efforts that I put in at work, and I work really hard for the money that I get, I am going to do the things that I want to do. And if that makes other people feel uncomfortable, that's that, As I always tell you guys, there's always someone who has more, and life is for the living. We need to go out there and we need to live our lives, and we need to buy the things that we want. Some people say, well, you shouldn't flaunt, the things that you have. Particularly right now, people say, oh, times are difficult. People shouldn't really be flaunting things. I mean, I don't know about that. I feel like times are always difficult. I live in a developing country. In my country, the economy is always a grind here, honey. So, we don't even necessarily have boom times or bust times. It's always a tough grind here. And, I work really hard. Like, I work hard. So I'm going to do the things that I want to do with the money that I've worked really hard for. And I think that that should be the energy that we're all on here. This whole thing of like, oh, buy quiet luxury brands during an inflation time so that people feel like this, so you don't feel like this. I mean, I don't agree with that. I think if you like stealth wealth brands because you like the aesthetics and you like it anyway, whether it's a boom time or it's like a quieter time, I think you should do that. But buying things to make other people feel happy and to make other people feel more comfortable, that to me is you buying into pocket watching. Passive aggressive pocket watching is this kind of new form of pocket watching that I have noticed that is going on as well. So passive aggressive pocket watching is people who know you, making comments, quite, maybe in a slick way about, the new things that you are buying or the new things that you have. I know it sounds really strange, but people do notice things like new jewelry, new clothing, a new car, even like new makeup. If you're doing your makeup in a different way, people notice those things. So maybe someone in your life, like a friend or a family member, being like, wow, you have all these like new clothes and stuff, like, you're dressing in a certain way. When people make passive aggressive comments about the new things that you have, it's meant to make you withdraw. And instead, what you should do is you should not even consider doing that, and you should be willing to respond to those people. In some of those cases, you might be like, well, I don't want to respond or clap back each time. I understand that. But I think sometimes, like I said, periodically, you need to clap back. So if someone's like, oh wow, you have all these new clothes, you have all this new jewelry, like, girl, don't play with me. You know what time it is. Like, I have to look good because I've got to look good. Sometimes you have to respond, because if you don't respond, you make yourself a target for people to come at you over and over again. It is really unpleasant when people say those like passive aggressive pocket watching type of statements, but you have to accept that that is a thing. I am not a fan of changing the way I dress so that people don't make comments about the things that I have. I'm going to buy the things I like. If someone's going to make a comment on it, I am going to make sure I respond. I must say, turning the tables on that person who said that thing to me, that's when I saw, okay, a lot of the times when people say these nasty pocket watching statements, they don't think you're going to reply. And then the day you reply, people get flustered, and then eventually you're going to get your apology. Okay, and they're gonna be like, look, I'm sorry for the way I spoke to you. And they should be sorry. So definitely don't be afraid to clap back. And in some cases, it doesn't mean that you're fighting with the person, but you're just letting the person know, like, look, I'm not the one to play with. I hear so many variations of these things, and I always let the people know that I'm not the one, and we're not going to go there. And if you want to go there with me, I'm going to go there with you to the bitter end. So let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think about clapping back at people who make passive aggressive comments or comments about the things that you have. And how do you feel about pocket watching and the whole trend of pocket watching? Do you think social media has made pocket watching a bigger thing because people now can see the purchases that people make, so people can be like, wow, like, you have all these things? And how do you guys respond to pocket watching? I must say I'm much happier now just confronting people back. If someone brings the drama to me, I'm going to be responding. And it's a good feeling. So, and I actually think it's really good that I did respond, because that person is going to tell other people, don't say that to her, she's going to respond. I will respond one way or the other. Okay? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon in my next video.